Rahul, we've been getting some images from inside the residence of the Prime Minister, beaming members of Netaji's family, and the family would be relieved to hear what the Prime Minister has now promised them. The larger picture over here is that this puts an end to one of the greatest mysteries that independent India has faced.
Yes, Vishnu, this is perhaps the most enigmatic bit of history, piece from the history that Indians have always wanted to know. It has always been talking point in the country. There have been commissions which have examined it. In fact, the last commission set up, Justice Mukherjee Commission, that report in fact was rejected and never worked on by the UPA government. And perhaps Prime Minister Narendra Modi realizes the political potential of what he has done today or declared today in a meeting with the members of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose's family. It will definitely have an impact, a large impact in terms of BJP's political fortunes or its political quest in West Bengal. Also, it could well create some kind of a political spiral, because remember, if there was information available about Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, available in government files at the time of independence, post-independence, and for so many years, and if respective Congress and other governments have not revealed that information, because that information could be embarrassing, could create larger political problems, then that information is likely to come out. Though the Home Ministry, Prime Minister Office sources are saying that on the 23rd of January, the Home Ministry, which is working on certain files, will be releasing only what is called the first lot of Netaji Subhash Chandra files will be declassified. What information is there, one is not very sure. One will have to try to find out. But
light
definitely,
fixed on your camera. But before I come back to you, we're just having some light issues, Rahul. We'll try and get that light sorted out. What Rahul Srivastava actually mentioning is important, that look, there are lots of files which exist in New Delhi, and some of these files may not actually contain that information, but somewhere in these files, perhaps that information exists. Related to what Rahul, and I think we've got the line back up with him, related to what Rahul was saying, and he mentioned this a little while ago, was a concern that by revealing what the contents of those files are, there would be a worry possibly about foreign relations being affected. Let's spell this out for our viewers, Rahul. Foreign relations with Russia. There is a fear, there is a concern that he was killed, Netaji was killed in the then Soviet Union. By revealing that, relations between our two countries, which are extremely close, have always been very close, might be affected. This is what the External Affairs Ministry had said several years ago. The Prime Minister willing to rise perhaps beyond that, assuming that this theory, I mean, who knows if this theory is true or not, but the Prime Minister willing to go beyond the theory.
Vishnu, if you recall, what the disappearance of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose or the alleged death happened at a time when the Allies and Axis powers were at war. And Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose had one very clear theory, that if his army had to challenge the British in India, he was ready to take support from anybody. And his forays into Japan, Germany and others were definitely at one time a sense of worry for the Allies forces. And that is why, if you look at, the family has been demanding that there are 8 countries to which the Indian government should write. And these countries are Russia, Japan, China, America, UK, Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan. They want that the files which are there pertaining to Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose's disappearance or activities should also get declassified. But that could happen only when India first declassified and takes the first major leap forward. Now that the government of India has done it, I think the Prime Minister's office and the government will like to start writing to these countries also. There have been RTI applications which have gone to the Prime Minister's office, and they have been rejected when it comes to information regarding Netaji Subhas Chandra files. Why they were rejected? The basic word given was that it can jeopardize friendly relations with certain countries with whom India has traditional ties. Now that's a very, very critical bit as far as this declassification of files is concerned. And the government of India, even though it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government, will have to walk on eggshells when it comes to declassifying that kind of information. Right. Because classified information with nations is always very sensitive. But it can lead to political upheavals.